Yes, Rabbi, me sorry, me sorry, nam yes, Rabbi, me sorry, me sorry, ooh yeah. Oh, be quiet. Oh, yeah. Oh, Namo. Kanya Ashray. And never arrive. Oh, be quiet. Oh, yeah. Oh, Namo. Kanya Ashray. And never arrive. Sunshine brain, me sorry, me sorry, what's this sunshine brain, me sorry, me sorry, oh yes, All right. Welcome to Italk with Pastor Kwame. I am excited to come back again to talk to you about the main thing that we've been kind of dialoguing about, which is the emotional issue when it comes to abuse. And today we're going to kind of put a spin to it where we are going to let God into the conversation, because I feel that is a missing link, because we are talking about how to handle it, and I think it's important that we let God into it. But let's do the right thing. I greet you with Jesus' joy. I'm excited to be on FBN today, and I thank my producers and everybody that is kind of making this happen with your prayers and or your support. I want you to share the video and invite somebody to come around, that in the next 45 minutes we are going to have something worth your time. And I told you that the objective, when we are tired, when we are not tired, we come because somebody's level of pain, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, must be reduced. So I welcome you to Italk with Pastor Kwame on FBN. We always come here on Friday, 7:30 US time, New York time, to 8:30, to bring something practical to the table and also to teach. I have some students who have been missing action for a while, but you are my student because you are the people I talk to. So I want to give you a bigger picture of where we are going today, and then we will get right in. We don't have time to waste at all. I feel like the story of the day or the story of the week kind of consuming all the class time. So I'm going to make sure I apportion the right amount of time to the story of the day so we can get other things going. So I want you to share and invite a friend to come on as we talk about how to handle emotional abuse. All right. So what we are going to consider today, specifically, what we are going to consider is a story of the week. It's a real life situation scenario that I kind of engage people during the week and bring their views on here and I share with you. And then I also give a kind of try to put the principles out of the story to kind of let you have how to unlock similar stories if you use the glasses. Principles are like glasses. When you put them on, then you can see things and begin to make right decisions all the time. That's kind of the goal. So we're going to talk about that story, and then on the other side of the break, we'll go to break early. So I'll come back quickly and talk about God and emotional abuse. God and emotional abuse, because the conversation most of the time has been like this. Most of the time when the issue of abuse comes up, you hear people say, Pastor, put this God thing on the side. Somebody's dying, so we don't want you to quote scriptures here. Somebody's dying. We don't want you to make religious excuse for somebody's daughter to die. Don't make religious excuse for somebody's son to die. So I figured I need to bring that in, because I don't know if anybody has done so, but I took upon myself to actually teach a little bit on the biblical grounds for separation during abuse. So the Bible is not to be out. The Bible supports that you stay safe in time of abuse, but we will kind of get deep into that. So that's kind of the game plan for this evening. But I want you to really share the video and invite a friend to join. And I want to thank my producers for always being on always being punctual, and she does a lot of different produce different shows on FBN, and she does a full-time job. She's a mom, and I really appreciate her. She's a very kind of industrious, a woman of how do I say it, a woman of many gifts. And you can't say that without mentioning the strong man, the pastor himself, Pastor Francis, who also is the visionary for this, I believe. And I appreciate them so much for what they are doing. And I know that their expectations will be seen. All that God has showed them will be made visible. All right, enough preaching. So let's get busy with my schedule for today. So the first thing we're going to listen to is the video of the story of the week. And I'll come back and play some audio comments from friends, and then I will chime in, and then we will go to the other side and pick up our topic on God and emotional abuse. Let's roll the clip.
We need to talk. We need to sit down and have a conversation regarding this issue. Renelle, you ain't answer me yet, you know. What is the rush? Renelle, you don't even know this boy.
Mommy, what you talking about? Elijah and I together for over a year now. You know him. Our whole family knows him. How you can say I don't know him?
A year? Child, that not even enough time to know somebody. You hardly even know your own self. You know anything about his family? You know anything about him even? You know anything about his past?
Mommy, I don't understand you, Last time we talked about Elijah, you had nothing but good things to say about him. He respectable, he ambitious, this, that, the other. Now you're just switching up and acting like if he's the worst person in the world.
Renelle, I have a problem with this thing. Because you telling me that you want to get married. You're talking about wedding dress and ring and everything that goes with it. But you still haven't answered me. Wait. Renelle, don't tell me. You pregnant?
No.
You want this boy sexually active?
No, Mommy.
Is sex you're running down?
What kind of foolish question is that?
Foolish? Girl, foolish is rushing into this marriage. Foolish is not finishing your education and getting a job before you get married. Foolish is messing up your whole life.
Mommy, Elijah said that finishing school wouldn't be a problem. His new job is more than enough to support us. I don't understand why you can't just support my judgment and respect my decision.
Elijah said this. That's all I hearing. Elijah has it all figured out. But you still haven't answered me, Renelle. What is the rush?
Mommy, we're going in circles, right? Elijah and I, we love each other. We love each other. We want to spend the rest of our lives together, and I want to be his wife. That I just don't understand why you can't just understand where I coming from.
Renelle, you know anything about marriage? You know anything about being a wife? Renelle, you can't even cook. You can't even keep a house. Renelle, look at the state of your room. You still a child. You feel marriage is a bed of roses or one of them fairy tale stories?
I don't know about marriage. I don't know about marriage. You know anything about marriage? You and Daddy knew so much about marriage that now you're divorced. You're not even married right now. You, of all people, not in a position to tell me about marriage.
Well, exactly, Renelle. This is what I am trying to prevent you from. Making the same mistakes that I made.
I am not you. I am not you, and I am not going to become you. I don't want to be you. Elijah and I love each other. We are going to get married. Just because you mess up your life doesn't mean I would mess up mine. It's either you support me or you don't. I just real tired of trying to explain to you that Elijah and I love each other. We love each other and we want to get married, and that's final.
I see. Grown woman Renelle, you didn't come to ask me about this. You did not come to seek my blessing on this. But you came to tell me exactly what you're going to do.
What?
You name woman Renelle. This is your life. But let me tell you something, As your mother and as a woman who has made mistakes in her life, I absolutely not in agreement with this wedding. And I totally do not agree with this marriage. You hear me?
What? Mommy?
Renelle.
Mommy?
Renelle.
Oh gosh!
All right, welcome back. So this was not just a narrative, but the whole a clip was in front of you. So something interesting is happening here. Let me go right into some of the comment that I received so that we can see if we can learn something from it. So let me try and so some of the comments were longer, some of them were shorter. So let me go to one of the shorter ones to begin with. So these are all doctors. Dr. Gloria gave a very interesting comment. Let's take a listen.
So, just listening to the video and following the discussion between the mom and the daughter, there's a few things that come out as very wrong. The first is the fact that she is even arguing with the mom in the first place. That is very strange in the sense that I don't think that is how you're supposed to present such a case or a situation to your mom. Even though when you meet somebody in your head or in your heart, your mind is made, I feel like you still present it to a parent as if you're asking for their permission out of courtesy. So the question, it should have been, mommy, me and this guy are thinking about getting married, and I just want to ask you, what do you think about it? That way, you, even though your mind is made up, you still letting the parent feel that you do need their consent, and you do want their consent, and you do want their blessing, and you're not making a decision and telling them what you are going to do. So that is one. And then secondly, what I find wrong with the whole statement is also the whole story is the fact that she is not ready, as the mom said, financially. Her argument with her mother tells me that she's not ready emotionally. And then the fact that she's still in school, she don't have a career and things is also a red flag in the sense that I believe that in a marriage is one plus one that makes one. And that is the equation of marriage. And it's very important that we realize that is a whole person plus another whole person that makes one in a marriage. If you are not whole and you join with somebody, you become a burden instead of a blessing. So that is my opinion. I honestly think that this whole thing should be cancelled, the wedding. It doesn't mean that, well, let me say postponed is a better word because they don't have to break up. There's nothing wrong with them dating and getting to know each other, but they should not rush into marriage. He should give her time to become a whole person, get her life together, and then when they are ready, they can move ahead with the decision. And if the image is anything to go by, she seems pretty young, so I do not see the rush.
All right, that sounds good. So Dr. Gloria said that the, there's something wrong from the beginning. It looks like that's not the approach. If you're going to get married, this is not the approach. But I'll just throw in a comment. So one of the things I try to do, or what I bring to all situations, is more like how to view a situation within the context of the reality on the ground. What I'm trying to say is that the reason this conversation is happening this way is because of the kind of family that exists. You're looking at a picture of a broken home, so to speak, right? And so the dynamics of the home already doesn't cultivate a very healthy flow of information, and kind of it's not a whole one piece, you follow. So when that happens, you expect some of these things. I will just add that to it. So I'm going to engineer myself, and let me go back to see if I think today I'm chilling with my producer. Let me see if anybody has made
Tell you something,
any comment, so
as
that
your mother and as a woman,
we can take a look at it. All right. So yeah, he says we love each other. It's not enough, right? So there is a lot of question mark on the whole approach to getting married, and I'll get to that when I deal with the subject. But now let me play another comment. I'm going to play some of the comments, but my goal will be to my goal is going to be to hear Dr. Gloria's on, and then uh, she heard her voice on the show. All right, so this is a little lengthy, but this is also very important. So this is also Dr. Lily from London chiming
Pardon me.
on the issue. All
I
right,
totally forgot.
so let's start from where she started talking about
Mother,
the issue.
and then a failed marriage. She has fears for the daughter, and so she has every right. She has that legitimate power to say that, my daughter, I've been there where you're going, I've been there, and the road is not as rosy as you think. Now, from the girl's point of view, this is a young girl who has fallen head over heels in love with a guy. And if you listen to the girl all the time, she refers to the guy as, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So she has that total trust in this gentleman. She has that love. She has that assurance that things will work. So, in that euphoria of I'm in love, she is being swept away, and then she wants to get married to this gentleman without stepping back to look at her as a young lady. What is in it for me? Where am I going? My education, what do I want in the marriage, and all those things that she needs to sit and question herself before she takes that step. But she's not done that. So these are the cons of the girl's side. But if you ask that as a young girl, should she go ahead with that marriage? I will come from two angles. Yes, she can go ahead with that marriage if she's able to convince her mother and clear the doubts. But personally, if I were in that girl's shoe at the moment, I will take a step back and then reassess the whole thing. And remember, the day is a one time thing, the wedding is one time, but the journey is a long last journey. So she should ask herself, and as she journeys on, if the gentleman changes, if he kind of disappoints her, what's she going to do with her education? Because when she marries, she then becomes the responsibility of this guy. So if she says, I'm not taking care of you anymore, I don't want you to go to school, I want you to be a housewife, what is in there for you? So she should step back, really look at the mother situation, where she started, how it went, and pick lessons from it. And if after doing all that analysis, she seems that okay, I've done all the necessary checks, and I think I've ticked all the boxes. If I go in, I'm going to do this to support myself.
I like that. I like that. So I kind of get the main message from Dr. Lily also. So she's saying that there is a lot of things to be considered. Yeah. And when I kind of try to bring my response, I think it will be along the same lines, but I'll try to see if I can find principles to kind of make it clear as we go forward with it. Yes. Last one, and then I will bring my take because I've made up my mind to not let the story of the day steal everything from me.
I believe the girl should not cancel the wedding right away, but she should take heed of her mother's words. The mother has had experience in the same area. It does not necessarily mean that she will go through the same trials and tribulations that her mom went through in her marriage, but the words of wisdom from the mom should be enough for her to slow down, to assess the situation before jumping head on. And she can also listen to the mother and finish school and focus on bettering herself as well instead of throwing everything away for this marriage. Because I believe the mom probably went through such a difficult time after giving up everything and being with this man that she thought would love her for life. So there is some sound counsel from the mother's side that this girl should take into consideration. She should not cancel the wedding right away, but she should get to learn the guy she's going to marry a little bit more. And she should assess the situation and not rush into it. Should also support her daughter. On the other hand, the mother should also support her daughter. She should not impose her bad experiences and fears on her daughter. She should, however, help the child or her daughter in this case to navigate the world, the path that she's about to get into with more, with love, with teachings, with understanding, and moreover, with guidance instead of just yelling at the girl and saying that she does not accept.
All right. All right. Thank you. So I got three. I'm glad it was ladies that were commenting. Let me see if there's any comment on Facebook, so that it doesn't become a
Yes,
guy
let me tell you
who's
something,
trying
eh?
to apologize. I think I keep looping the sound in. Um. So yes. No comment. Let me see what the producers. I don't think the lady is ready yet for the marriage. From what she keeps saying, we should said she should take her time and consider what her mom is saying. All right, so the it's clear as an observer. It's very clear, but the issue from our point of view is clear. But if you put yourself in the shoes of the mother and you put yourself in the shoes of the girl, then everything changes a little bit. Because for us, we are looking at it intellectually, but they are looking at it emotionally. So it's a little bit different. Intellectually, you can see that this is the right thing to do, but emotionally, it is not that simple. All right. So the first thing I will kind of approach with this is what happened before this, or the environment, right? I guess it's a teaching moment more rather than principle. You will most likely find this issue all the time when the factors that are designing your understanding of marriage is only external. You notice that this girl in question has not even seen marriage before, because she's growing up in a broken home, so to speak, where the father is out of the picture. And I don't want to, it's a spoiler alert. I will try and continue the story so you all see how it unfolds as we come back. But that is the first comment, that you can't do what you don't know. And so if she had seen marriage before kind of her eyes, and kind of experience it with the mom and dad in the picture, it will kind of give her one hand, this is how I'm trying to paint my marriage. And then the growing up, the feeling that she's developing as a girl and falling in love part will be two. And then she will kind of take those two and work it together. Right. So that's the first comment I want to make. So she is working with what she got, which is nothing. Right. So right now she's going purely with her need for a father figure, a need for a man, whichever way. I don't want to over analyze it, but she's going blind, right? Because of the house condition. The second thing about this situation from that teaching point of view is what I made earlier on, which is when the house is kind of in that condition, then communication is always this type of communication. You understand that? Um, and I want to see if I'm trying to get myself in trouble, but is it a culture thing that makes uh, black families or African families, the only time they are talking to us is when they are talking like this? I've never seen a table talk with our kind of people before. I don't see it. I don't see it. Most of the time, by the time your parents are advising you, they are scolding you, right? The things they are saying, they are kind of priceless, but they are angry and advising you. So they are pouring kind of life juice on you, but the emotions they are using to pour it is an emotion of kind of talking mad at you. Do you understand? And I don't know if it is us as a people that are kind of bent in that, because what the mother is saying is so good, but the way she's saying it is not going. Do you understand that? And so that is an issue also. And I say that is primarily because of the dynamics of the home. When the balance is not there and the mother is struggling to keep things going, the girl tend to grow by herself and kind of figure things by herself, while the mother is trying to keep the family going. You understand that? And so in that light, there isn't a lot. I can tell that there isn't a lot of communication, meaningful, exciting communication in this family. Now, one thing I want to know, I don't know, I will throw it to those who are listening today. I want to find out, is it okay to be a friend to your mother if you were a girl? Because I've heard preachers preach it different. Some say your daughter is your daughter. Don't try to make her a friend. And people say your son is your son. So there is this kind of I don't know how to put it. There is this sense of whichever camp you belong to, that's where you belong to, right? I don't have a take on that yet. I've not thought through yet. But if in a situation like this, if the mother and the daughter were kind of friends where they share, and I feel it's not a bad idea. My mom and my sister, at some point, they've shared that, and it was interesting, right? So when you share that with your daughter, then it is through that friendship pipe that you guys exchange information. And I feel that if you're a single parent listening to me and you are also a young girl in a single family, your mother should be your friend. But don't forget that she's still your mother. You have to respect her. But your mother should be your friend. And if you do that, then you guys will be on the same kind of wavelength doing life together. It wouldn't be that you found a guy and you are speaking across to her. You understand? And I'm saying it's not that simple. Some mothers are just impossible. You cannot just be their friend. But if that happens, it will kind of create a channel that will cause things to flow better. And the mother will have the right opportunity to teach. I want to tell all mothers, teaching the way we often do, maybe it is the reason why we don't take guns and shoot people. Maybe it's also a reason. And when I was watching the clip, something came in mind. I hope I'm not confusing you. Something came in mind, which is um when I was in New York City pastoring, um most of my members were single girls, and this particular girl in question was going to get married, and so she has to kind of pass through me to get it done. And she later concluded that, as for my pastor, he will fight the marriage until you can prove to him that you know what you're doing, right? So she thought that my goal was to say all the challenging things and see how she kind of responds. And based on that, I could see how deep she knows what she's doing, right? I'm not saying anybody should do that, but this thing I just observed, you are most likely to really see the heart and the mind of the girl based on this kind of conversation. Because maybe if it was a very cozy mother daughter day out, going to get their nails done, maybe the girl wouldn't be able to really tell her mind. But when the mother pushed her, she really voiced some things out that maybe she wouldn't voice out if she wasn't also angry, right? So I feel that sometimes maybe you can do that to get to see the core of the situation. But in a nutshell, here is really my take on that. So the first thing I would say is that the best approach in resolving this issue was yesterday, right? What I mean is, okay, am I on? Am I on? Um, the best approach is yesterday. In other words, by the time a family is going through this kind of back and forth with a ring on a finger, it means that they have crossed the place of quality decision. You understand? Whatever was supposed to happen did not happen. Whatever was supposed to happen did not happen. What we are witnessing is the fact that the mother and the daughter are already into something. The daughter is already into something that is unfortunately too late for the mother to steer at this point. That's the first reality on the table. Now, the second thing I will comment is the fact that the mother is frustrated. The mother is upset, the mother indirectly feels like, let me see if I can rescue this matter. Let me see if I can fix this matter by bringing some sense into the matter. But unfortunately, it is, I would even say the anger is the issue. The main issue is the time. The time where this conversation was going to happen was yesterday. So things have become late. But I'm sitting in this chair to kind of tell you what to do when things like that happen. So hopefully I get to that point. But I'm just trying to dissect the matter a little more technical. So the mother could have done it softly, could have done it hard, but because time is not on her side, the decisions has been made already. The decision has been made already by the girl mentally, emotionally, and the girl cannot see her way back. The girl cannot really see her way back, right? And so that is kind of how things are. In the comment, she said that I have been with this girl I've been with this guy for a year now. So we kind of observe as so chances are the mother have made good comment about this boy, right? But the truth is they are not really communicating in such a way that they can pass information and help each other go forward. Now let me tell you the raw deal. The biggest challenge we are facing now is a generational gap, right? And now I want to talk to the daughters and talk to the mothers, and I'll wrap up. um there is a place as a mother where after you've done all you can, you just stand. After you've done all you can, you just stand. What I mean is, and someone will catch me very soon, but what I mean is, I wrote something a while ago based on this, and I said that sometimes it is the wisdom found in mistakes that makes your children better than the wisdom found in your advice. Growing up is a process that if you shield a person growth, you will destroy the person. When an eagle is learning how to fly, the mother does some awful things by taking the eagle up and dropping the eagle, and in a suicidal way, but it is how they spread their wings, right? When you talk to your daughter, when you talk to your son and they don't get it, and you've said all you can, you have to stand, because words will not do it, but action will. And that is where only prayer can work. You are praying that you don't die in this lesson. There was no way the prodigal son was going to listen to the father. So when that happens, you know that God is sending your daughter and your son for training. Every mother should pick this signal quickly. After you have said all you can, use soft words, use hard words, use sweet words, use everything. After you said everything and it doesn't happen, it means that in this particular matter, God will use experience to grow your child. And you go back to prayer. It's very important that mothers take note of that. Now, on the daughter side, you are going to, as a child, as a daughter, as a girl, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to make a lot of mistakes. But I want you to know that it is part of your wisdom experience. If you don't, maybe maybe I'm going to lose my audience because I'm speaking something that is crazy, but hear me out. It's better to make decisions that you thought was right than to make a right decision you don't understand. Do you understand? Growth comes when you make decisions that you understand. So I want to spoil my show by saying that some of you have ended up in bad relationships. Some of you are in very awful places. And I came to tell you that it is good that you went through that, because the person I'm speaking to on the other side of the camera has become a mother because of what you're going through. The person I'm talking to now, you have become solid, you have become grounded because of the bad choices you made. You understand? So I really want you to understand that indecision is not good, and to the best of your ability, make decisions. And you also be a prayerful person. But I'm telling you, as I'm sitting here talking to you, when I got married, I learned a lot about myself I didn't know. So the truth is, advice is good, but you won't grow by advice. You will grow by painful experiences. You understand? So with God as your help, listen to advice is all good, but I want you to know that every experience that you experience, it is designed to grow you. So open up yourself and allow that growth to take place, because you will not know anything. The mother is speaking out of pain. Obviously, the mother is speaking out of disappointment, but the mother is able to spill this wisdom because of a bad marriage. You understand that? And so I just want to finalize by saying that we are looking at a cycle. Broken home releases partially prepared people that will repeat the same cycle, because there isn't somebody to steer things up. So as you see, as the mother couldn't survive, the girl is also staging herself to fail. You understand what I'm saying? So that cycle is what is really playing out. But the lesson I will take in this is that parents know when to stand after you have said it all, and children, there's a way that seems right to you. The end is not right, but you need to see the end to become the better person that you are. All right. So don't be a slave to your decisions, grow out of them. But for this matter, what I would say is that the mother cannot do anymore, and the daughter should be how do I call it? The daughter should be ready to continue the journey of learning, and the mother should cover her with prayer, because the time is actually not on both or their side. So that's what I would take. I hope it makes sense a little bit to you. But if you find yourself in that situation, go ahead and marry him. Can I tell you a story? Okay, I'm going to tell a story. So I'm in trouble. I'm going to tell a story, and the story is let's see. After you've done all, yes, please. After you've done all, stand. All right. So love alone is not. It says, "Am I saying love alone is not? It's not get married to someone." Yeah, this is real stuff. Yeah. So you will, if you make a wrong decision, you will learn quickly, right? You will learn quickly, and I pray that when you learn, you will not repeat it. When you make wrong decisions, you learn quickly, but don't use words where action is required in shaping the person, and just pray for them. All right. So that's, I was going to say something, but I stopped. But definitely, when you make wrong decisions, it means that you were not mature enough. You understand? So that's really what I'm saying. When people make wrong decisions, it tells you their level of maturity. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that you will learn and become mature as you make those good decisions. All right. So we're going to come back and take we're going to come back on the other side, and I'll go quickly into the subject of God and emotional abuse. So I appreciate all of you so much. If you have any question about what I'm talking about, my take on that, you can send me a question and I'll answer it. So let's take a song and I'll be back to talk about God and emotional abuse. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. And tell a friend if they are missing it to come and join us. Take this heart of mine, make it your home. Holy fire, fill my soul. Purify me as gold. To love you more and more. More and more. My heart cry is to love you more.
Take this heart of mine, make it your home. Holy fire, fill my soul. Purify me as gold. To love you more and more. More and more. My heart's cry is to love you more.
I want more.
I want more of you.
We're crying for
More and more. I want more of you.
we're praying for
More and more.
Say I want more.
I want more of you.
It's my desire.
More and more. I want more. I want more of you.
It's my desire. Say
I want more of you.
my prayer, Lord.
More and more.
My desire is more.
Of you.
We're crying for
More and more.
my
I
prayer.
want more of you.
It's my desire.
More and more. I want more. I want more of you. And right here,
Yes, Lord.
right now, in this place. Don't be there.
Hallelujah.
Right
Right
here,
here.
right now, in this place. Don't be late. We need you, say, we need you, say, oh yes, need you.
Oh, yes.
Right here, oh Jesus, right now, in this place. Don't be late. Right here, right here, right now, in this place. Don't be late. Oh, right here, right now, in this place. Don't be late.
Right here. Right now.
Oh,
this very place, where we are, Jesus, don't be late. All right. Welcome back. So my producer said something. I want to make sure I get it right. So is my producer not satisfied with our story, or we can continue? So test me to see if we can continue, unless you want us to weigh more a little on a real life story. But I want to introduce the topic for today, which is God and emotional abuse. God and emotional abuse. So even trying to connect back to what we uh trying to connect back to what we left off. Every experience that you are going to encounter, the purpose of the experience is your growth, is for your growth. And you can't overestimate you can't overestimate the importance of the things of experience, the good, the bad, and everything. You can't over. And um I am praying for you that whatever makes your heart change. Oh, great, awesome, thank you. So we're on the same page, that whatever makes your heart turn in the right direction when you go through an experience, I pray that is what happens to you. Most of the time, when we go through difficult experiences, our heart doesn't turn the right way. Most of the time, it turns bitter, it turns cynical, and it turns sour. And I hope that is not how you see your. And I want to believe that this show will help you process your pain in a correct way. I hope this show will help you analyze your life in the correct way, so that you don't let your pain, you don't let all the difficulty you have experienced, you don't let it go out without what it was supposed to bring you, which is the wisdom, the maturity, and the beauty that life was painting in your life. All right, now we are dealing with abuse emotionally of all kinds that plague us these days. And most of the time, the people that receive the abuse are good people. I always say, you can't abuse a bad girl. You can't abuse. Only good girls can be abused. Only good boys can be abused. You can't abuse a bad girl. She will kill. She will kill you, right? So most of the time, victims of abuse are good people that stays around and hope that they can survive, or they can make do with the circumstance and the situation. I started my conversation talking about how to handle abuse and emotional abuse, physical abuse, and all of that. And the angle I was coming at was the abuse may come whether you are prepared or not, because there are two sides to life. There's a side called the avoidable problems and unavoidable problems. Abuse falls under unavoidable problem, but staying in abuse is an avoidable problem, right? So once the abuse is starts, because the abuser is his own person, you don't control other people and you don't decide what they do to you, but we were given protection mentally, we're given protection physically. God created us with instincts, with strength, with even metabolical. I hope I'm not a biologist. I'm a chemist, so leave me alone. Even with hormonal activities, adrenaline rush, and all of that for us to survive in harsh conditions. The body increase temperature when a bacteria enters the body to heat it up with the goal of killing that thing. So when your body gets hot, it means that there's something in there and the body wants to increase its temperature to kill the foreign thing that has entered you. A headache is a sign that something is wrong. So God created a biology with its ability to kind of solve its problems. So it means that when you come into an abusive condition, you have to get all your alerts up, all the protection garments. You have to go to red and protect yourself in that space. And one of them is when it's a physical abuse, then moving out of the space is the right protection. And so I talked about mentally protecting yourself, emotionally protecting yourself. You protect yourself mentally by understanding that this person's abuse is trying to break me mentally. In my early talk on abuse, I told you that abuse is not what you are going through, but abuse is what you are going through is doing to you. Conditioning is the mother of abuse. When you experience a bad situation, 1, 2, 3, the situation conditions you. When the situation conditions you, then the harm becomes something you live with. You understand that? So the abuser, it will try to break your mind. And let me give you this for the takeaway. It might be what you sign up today. Don't let anybody get access to your inside where they can do something to you without your permission. The closest person to your mind is you. If you let an outsider come and break your mind, I will tell you that. Don't allow that. Do you understand? So there must be an understanding that I see all that you are trying to do to me, but you can't break my mind. And I won't allow you to break my mind, because if I give in, you will break my mind. So you protect your mental health by making sure that you have the right outlook. Oh my, oh my, no, oh my, oh my. No matter what, as soon as you sense 1 or 2 abuse, then you take your calibration. You know calibration. Now this is emotional abuse warfare. One of the things that protects your mind, a righteous mind, can be pictures of yourself. Do you understand? When you are going through abuse, the first thing you start looking ugly, literally. So to have a righteous mind, keep a beautiful picture of yourself. And when you look at yourself and you look at the picture, you realize that you are becoming ugly, even though you are just 20 something. It means your mind is breaking. You are in a toxic place. So you keep references that shows you. Take a trip to an old friend. When they see you, you say, Uber. Do you understand that? Make sure, because you won't know, you wouldn't know that you are changing, you are being destroyed. But to protect your mind, you have to have pictures of how beautiful you were. And if you are changing from that picture, it means you are being destroyed. Do you understand? So you have to, because the conditioning is a gradual thing that makes you eat abuse, sleep with abuse without knowing. I made a bad when I got born again. The way I talked, that was how I was talking. The way I talked, that's how I was talking. So I said a lot of things that if I wasn't careful, someone would have killed me. My first preaching in the market, I preach in the buses, I preach in the marketplace, I preach everywhere. My first preaching in the market, I said, people, listen to me. People, listen to me. Those who stay in Zongo, they don't know Zongo smells because they have been there all their lives. That's how it is with sin. If you live in sin, you don't know you are in sin. So I was talking about conditioning. Do you understand that? To avoid conditioning, you have to have things that shows you that I am being changed. My soul is being tortured in this environment. And how you look before and after abuse is a good sign that you are dying. So keep that beautiful picture, not because you love yourself, not because you are vain, but it's a reader, it's a calibrator. Are you following? Protect your mind. Know when you are going down. Know when you are deteriorating. Know when you are in a toxic environment. Do you understand that? Because abuse is like a bad gas. You don't see it, but it's having effect on you. So protect your mind. Number 2, protect your heart. You protect your emotions under abuse when you understand that my value as a woman, my value as a man is always going to be based on a person that I am, not the treatment that I'm receiving. And I share that, talking about how Jesus was abused on the cross, but who he was couldn't change. And today I'm adding the God factor. The God factor when it comes to emotional abuse or abuse of any kind is this reality. Life is very strange. You and I do not know tomorrow. This is how I always say it. The reason we should listen to God is because he's the only one that has seen tomorrow before. So when I say God and emotional abuse, I want you to know that what God thinks about your abuse is important. God doesn't have a general statement for abuse in a positive way. God hates abuse. Period. At the same level he hates divorce, is the same level he hates abuse. Period. You understand? But what I'm saying is, you as a person must understand what God is saying about this abuse. You understand? Because what God is saying in an abusive situation is your strength. Let me say it again. What God is saying to you in an abusive situation, that message is your strength. You understand? And where am I going with this? Once you know what God is saying, so let me tell you something. There's a student in my class in the gifted center who is battling all kinds of problems on every side. And God spoke to her that this problem will lead to a lot of difficulty, but in the end, like he told Paul, none of you will die. The boat will be destroyed, but none of you will die. Do you understand? So when you hear the voice of God in an abuse, it helps you make major decisions. Do you understand? Because God is able to keep you where nobody can. He's able to turn things around when nobody can. And he's able to sustain you when nobody can. So God told me to tell all of you, don't take me out when abuse comes into your life. Because some of the abuse are not abuse. They are the tribulations that will bring a new life out of what you are looking at. So I want you to know that God is Lord over the abuser. God, in conclusion, let me check my time. My time is over and I'm still talking. Producer, you should always tell me your time is up. All right. So, in conclusion, the producer that I'm working with in one of our abuse conversation, she said that, Pastor, can abuse be a spiritual problem? And I shut her down quickly because I didn't want her to go there. Because people will say that it was a demon that made me do it, right? But the reason I have to go there this time is because God can tell you the source of the abuse. God will actually tell you the solution to the abuse. God will tell you what is going on. Because outside, it looks like abuse, which it is abuse. But God can tell you it looks like abuse, but it's not. This, that's why I want you to protect yourself, because this is difficult to teach. Because there are times that it will be a seasonal, difficult challenge in your marriage, a seasonal, difficult challenge. That when you go to the other side, people will ask, why did you stay? He said, because God showed me that this storm will not destroy my marriage. So I protected myself. I endure a lot of hardship because of the word of God. So I came to beg you that God can keep you in a fire and you will smell like an air condition. But you got to listen to him. So I want you to bind the two together. God and emotional abuse. God can give you the source of the madness. Some of you, even though you don't know a lot of spirituality, you can put two and two together that this thing is not normal. I'm not superstitious. I'm one of the most practical boys in town. But for a guy to take a gun and shoot people in school over and over again, you can't legislate this demonic thing. Are you following? Some of these crazy things people do to us, it is out of character. The Bible says when the Holy Ghost comes on Samson, he kills people like water. In the same way, when demonic forces take over a person, they destroy. Do you understand? So sometimes you're not fighting. Sometimes you're not fighting your husband. You're fighting the spirit. Hence, God, please, my time is up. My time is up. My time is up. So, God wants to tell you what you are looking at. Because not what you see, what you see is not what it is. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to understand that I need to hear God and protect yourself, all of the good things I've told you, but hear God also, because that is where your strength comes from. If you're a mother listening to me, you have to understand that you can speak to your children when they have left your house, and still your voice will change things in their lives. Do you understand? So don't be selfish in abuse, and God will use you to save the abuser sometimes, but at a distance, with caution. But hear God, hear God, hear God. Don't let your pain be so much that you can't hear God anymore. Because I'm telling you for the 100th time, what happened inside you should be in your control. What happened outside you depends on who's around you. But what happened inside you should be in your control. And be still and know that He is God. And this abuse will not kill you, because that's what He told me. So I protect myself. But I know the source of this evil, and I will not let it destroy my family. The devil knows that you are scared of abuse. So as soon as he wants to scatter your family and break things apart, he said, let me bring some abusive thing in here. Because nowadays, all the church girls are afraid of abuse. They will leave and abandon their home so I can destroy their children's children. The devil is a liar. God will silence things. My pastor side is coming. Father, we thank you for today. Pray that you will speak over any abusive condition. I command with the hand of God that anybody listening, even those who are not listening, but they are in a very painful place, there's a God who handles things that man cannot. I pray and I declare that there will be a change in that situation. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
For those of you that are afraid, hey, 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 you're not alone. God is in control. Oh, the Lord on your side. Oh, you are saying, hey, 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 hey. I know they fear when through life they do me. The Lord on my side. I am safe. It's not giving me spirit of fear. It's not giving me a reason to fear. He has given me power and a sound mind. So I don't fear who. I don't fear who. I don't fear who. I don't fear who. You're not alone, no. God is in control. The Lord on your side, oh. You are safe. You're not alone. You're not alone. God is in control. You're not alone. The Lord on your side. You're not alone. You are safe.